Everyone out to London City Council meeting, please stand, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Russell?
Present.
Peters? Robinson?
Here.
Hayes?
Present.
Hitt?
Here.
Blazer?
Here.
Smith?
And has everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes from the last meeting?
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
Corrections or discussion? All right, all in favor of approving those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed, same sign. Minutes carried. Communications and announcements. We did not, we did have a request here to appoint Joseph Lemus Gruz to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Mayor Clusser says that he feels confident in his appointment of Mr., does he go by Liam?
Liam.
Okay, to the Board of Zoning Appeals. All in favor of appointing Mr. Gruz to the Board of Zoning Appeals, say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed, same sign. Okay, appointment carries. And we do not have any public hearings this evening. On to audience concerns. We do have one audience concern here, Mr. Greg Dingenfield. Okay, could you please come to the podium, state your name, your address, and you do have 5 minutes, please.
It's Greg Dagenfield. It's 229 East Center Street. The water bill, or the utility bills state stormwater removal, $5, I guess, every month. We've never had stormwater removal on that part of Center Street. As a matter of fact, we're used as an overflow for the wetlands. Why are we being charged $5 for something that we don't get a benefit of? And if we can get a benefit, it would really be nice, and we wouldn't mind paying it. Can council do anything about this? The mayor's been talked to in the past, the water department's been talked to in the past, and I've just been blown off by all of them.
Okay, so from my understanding, this is, the stormwater is like a shared utility with the whole city, and the whole city charge, that fee, similar, to
Yeah.
any street repairs or anything like that. Even if you don't drive a car, you would, partake
Okay,
in it.
but shouldn't a stormwater removal, Center Street drains right through our houses. There are no ditches along Center Street to carry the water away that drains off of Center Street. It runs right through our properties, through the house, into our backyards, and there's supposed to be a drain that goes underneath the bike trail to the wetlands. And instead, the wetlands rises and it drains into our backyards and floods all the properties. It's been doing that for years and years. I've been out here for almost 30 years, and it's been doing that since before I was out here.
Okay, have you talked to Bill Long about that? Is there supposed to be some drains underground for that, or?
No, they're not. No, they're not. My neighbor's not here tonight, unfortunately, to verify that they are not drained. And that tunnel that goes under the bike trail is not unplugged. As a matter of fact, somebody went out and dumped concrete all over the top of it to hide it. The beaver dams are built. I was told when I first started complaining about this that the state has to do something to the beaver dams, and that the city had gone to the state. to Parks and Recreations. I went to Parks and Recreations, and they said, no, they haven't. They haven't talked to us at all, because if they had, we would have relocated the beavers. So I came back to the city. The city says, well, we have a contractor that's supposed to keep the beaver dams knocked down so it doesn't flood back into the properties. Well, evidently, you need a new contractor because he's not doing his job, because the properties still flood. I brought in, Soil and Water put in a parking area for the bike trail. Julia Cummins, I had talked to her. She brought me over 900 yards of dirt, and I filled in my backyard. The water still gets so high, my backyard, you can't walk through it. It's that mushy. The neighbor started bringing dirt in, filling her backyard in, because we're tired of being flooded out when the big rains come. The water does not drain through the bike trail. The drain has never been cleaned out as long as I've owned that property. I even went out and showed them one time, because the drain did not have all that concrete poured, chunks blocking the opening. Somebody went over there and hid it. I watched the backhoe sitting out there on the bike trail one time. And that must have been what he was doing, because I knew exactly where the drain was. And we know where it is on both sides now. It's 2 doors down from my property, or west of my property. And it's all overgrown. It's got trees hiding it on the property side and concrete piled on the wetland side. So it has never been cleaned out. It's never been maintained. And there has not been any drainage done to drain those properties.
All right, so Bill, there are drains there in that area, and are they supposed to divert the water in that area away? Okay, is there any way that you could check that out and make sure they're not covered up, so that way they work the way that they're supposed to? Because if there's drains there, there's no reason why they shouldn't work.
Well, they can never
the way they're
work as
supposed
long
to.
as the wetlands still overflow.
So you'll check on that, because that's the street department area, so. All right, well,
Okay, well, when we flood again, I'll be getting more pictures, and I'll come back and see you.
all right, well, thank you. This is the place, we definitely want you to come here with all your concerns, because
Okay.
otherwise I wouldn't have known about it, so thank you
Well,
for bringing it to our attention.
unfortunately, like I said, I just recently found out that this was where I was supposed to come, and I've been complaining about it for over 10 years.
Wow, okay, well, I'm glad you made it to us, so thank you,
I
definitely.
appreciate
Yeah, if there's a
your
drain
help.
there, it's supposed to drain, then we want to make sure that it's
Yeah,
doing
it's supposed
exactly
to
what
drain
it's supposed to.
away, not drain to.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, on to our committee reports. Ms. Russell?
Oh, okay. I attended the finance meeting, and the auditor's report is our March books are closed out, and the new software, they're installing the new software into the remote locations for the department heads to be used. They'll be doing requisition using this new software. The state auditors were in, and they closed out their audit, and I believe council, all the signatures, you get all the signatures you're supposed to get, Kenna?
Some people turned them in to me and others mailed them, so I don't.
Okay. So all of those are out. Okay, and so we're going good there for the auditor's office. The street department reported on the changing of the traffic lights. We're going to be removing 6 traffic lights, correct? And they're at High Street in Union, High Street in Oak. Is it High Street in Arlington, Pat? Are we taking out Arlington?
Yeah, no, Westmore.
Westmore. And Main Street in First, Main Street in Second, and Main Street in Fourth. And these lights will be on flashing for 30 days, correct? No.
We serve notice that there'll be a traffic change, and then we'll wrap them up after that date.
Okay, will that go out on that BP, that site to everybody? Will that go out on that? Okay.
We'll post it in one call, and then it'll be posted at the road too, right?
Okay.
Okay.
There'll be signs that says traffic patterns will
Okay.
change.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, and that's at a expense of, what, 45,000 per, approximately $45,000 per light. Okay, and the street department, we discussed the purchasing of 2 dump trucks for the street department, and we decided to delay that for 90 days. We're in the process of all of our departments getting our trucks and equipment up to date so that we can get them on a rotation pattern, so that we're not buying 2 and 3 trucks at one time, that we're replacing the older ones with the newer ones, and we're getting there. It'll just take us a few more purchases, and we'll get there, but that's the goal of all the departments with vehicles, is to keep them upgraded and keep them working, so we don't have breakdowns, which cause delays and snow being removed and things like that. So we're gonna readdress that in 90 days. Okay, and the fire department brought before the finance committee, he wants to purchase a new fire engine, and the fire department is doing the same thing. They're trying to buy newer trucks to replace the older ones, and that way the older trucks will be used for backup only. And, once we get in this rotation, then we won't need to be buying so many trucks at one time, because these vehicles are very important. If we keep doing maintenance on them, we spend a lot of money if they're broken down. Then we have a lack of service. And the finances for this fire engine, Rex and Todd, Chief Eads, are working it out. They'll give some final figures at the next finance. Okay, and there will be some other discussions that we discussed, and we'll be bringing legislation forward for that. And our next finance meeting will be, okay,
May 10th?
May
Should be
10th.
May 3rd.
May 10th. May 10th.
Okay. And I was at that finance meeting too, and I saw the list of fire trucks, and there was a truck on there that's actually from 1987. So we do need to make sure we're taking care of our vehicles and keep them up to date, save on all those repairs. Mr. Robinson, do you have any?
Yeah, I attended the public service meeting. I only had the Parks and Rec, so volleyball ended on March 29th. All the final numbers are being finalized. The pool opening should be Saturday, May 29th, bearing that we're allowed to move forward with everything. There's a life-saving class June 4th, 5th, and 6th. They are starting wiffle ball on June 2nd. There'll be 2 teams per division. They're looking at divisions of 10 to 12-year-olds, and then 13, 14-year-olds, and possibly adding the 15-year-olds to that. The community gardens, they're up and ready for reservations. They're $10 a plot. Softball, it's going to start the week of May 16th. The co-ed is going to be on Sundays. Men's league will be Thursday. Merrymac, there's been a lot of discussion about revitalizing Merrymac. There's a new group it's a fundraising group called Merrymac Miracles. They're going to work with the city to help raise money to fix Merrymac up. We'll start working on the top of the park and then move down. They have improved a couple of the T-ball fields, so there was 4 out there. They've taken 2 of them, they've cut out, I don't know how many feet, but
200, I think.
they've turned it out enough to have the 60-foot bases, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 60-foot bases on 2 of them. There's talks of they are redoing all the fields down there, they're raking them, they're grooming them, just making sure that they're taken care of. There's some other things that are in talks. The Gaga Pit, has it been delivered? It was supposed to deliver April 8th, has it not?
I don't know.
Okay, well, there's supposed to be a portable Gaga Pit, and if you just look it up,
It's dodgeball.
it's like a dodgeball inside of a
Dodgeball
pit.
in a hole.
It's come through. The City of London, the Parks and Rec Department has been working on their website, working on their calendar. That way it's more visible to the public about different events that are starting, when they start, and Tammy and Bobby have been working really hard. Now we are going to start meeting on the first Wednesday of each month. That way, we have 2 meetings that if the street department and the Parks and Rec need anything that needs to be brought to council, we have 2 meetings, so we're now gonna start meeting on the first Wednesday of each month. So with that being said, our next meeting will be May 5th at 1 PM. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hayes.
Yes, I attended the public safety meeting on April 13th. We had the police chief's report, fire chief's report, approval of minutes from the last meeting. We went over some old business, and actually, Mrs. Russell touched on most of that about the traffic light and what we're going to be doing with the traffic lights. Also, about the new fire engines. One truck is 23 years old, and I believe the other one, remember, serves me correctly, is 25 years old. So they do need to be replaced. Mr. Hitt and Mrs. Blazer will give the police chief's report and the fire chief's report. Next safety meeting will be May 11th at 6 PM in the conference room right adjoining council chambers.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hitt.
Yeah, I attended the public safety meeting also, and I'll give the police chief's report that he presented at that meeting. They're currently accepting applications. There's no positions open, but their hope is to establish a list for future openings. Several officers and Madison County agency officers completed subject control training in the newly set-up training room above the city building. They received a proposal from Horn and King for completing the assessment of a police building and the community center building, and that cost would be, or the proposal was, cost was $12,500. The capital funding request for a cruiser was denied. The recently acquired truck was upfitted and is completed now with graphics and markings. Car 14 is having some functional problems, so they're trying to get that working and in order. Officer Ryan Davis was recognized as Madison County CIT Officer of the Year. Several officers completed CPR and Stop the Bleed certification. And the chief participated in the Meals on Wheels program for their annual promotional week. And he participated in the school STEM project judging event. And he also noted that there's been a rise in vehicular pursuits. They've had 3 in the past few weeks. No injuries or crashes were related to that, but there appears to be an increase in pursuits. And as Rich said, the next meeting is May 11th, 6 PM in the meeting room next door.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Blazer.
For the fire department and EMS report, they had their EMS training on toxicology because of, recent changes in drugs and how they interact and that kind of thing. Their fire training was on aerial ladder placement and operations. They are still continuing their new hire orientation because of part-time kind of turnovers, which is a problem all smaller departments have. They attended some multiple webinars for their new scheduling software program. The SCBA compressors that they ordered through the CARES Act were delivered and installed. They performed the abilities test for the part-time firefighters. They participated in the funeral for Breck Michaels, who was former fire department member, former dispatcher, and also Madison County Sheriff's Officer. They began their 48-hour paramedic refresher class, and then they also completed the specification review for the new truck. And we also talked a little bit about the mayor and Bill Long have been trying to work on getting 338 rerouted from a residential area, a residential street, to more of a traveled street like High Street, so it would be safer and less wear and tear on a residential street. And also, we discussed the parking lot at Kroger's through Burke's, and we were going to put together a letter, maybe from the council, asking the owners to address that, because it's gotten so bad that, I mean, we feel that it's starting to hurt business, and we want to promote local businesses, not detract from local businesses. So we'll be working on that, and we're going to ask if all of the council members would sign that. And then for finance, we also had Chase Killian. He made a CRA proposal. He was interested in building townhouses on Kenny Avenue. He initially wanted a tax abatement for 100% for 15 years. When he was told by administration that the way the school would go for that, he kind of countered then with 10 years at 50%, which would be under the cut that the schools would be able to have a say in. So our policy has always been from the CRAs to give 3 years at 100%. We offered 3 years at 100% or 5 years at 50%. And our main reasoning was he's only bringing in one new employee. He is bringing in new housing, but that's also going to become family housing with children, more children coming into the district. We didn't think it was fair to hurt the school system that would be potentially getting new, more added students, but reduced their tax dollars. And he declined both of those proposals. And our usual rule is 3 years and 100%. That's what we've always done for residential properties that are residential only. And he declined both of our offers of those two agreements. That's all I have.
Okay. All right, thank you very much for all those reports. On to our city official reports. Mr. Mayor?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good evening. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. I sat in on the Healthy Child and Family Consortium, which is the HCFC meeting last week. After reaching out to some of the members about a concern, they invited me to sit in on the meeting. In the span of just a couple weeks, 2 infants passed away within the city limits due to co-sleeping with parents in their bed. This really got to me, and I wanted to see what I could do as a mayor, as a citizen, and just as a human. I found out that the group is already doing a lot to inform new parents about the risks of having their children sleep in bed with them, and I wanted to help. I have teamed up with the HCFC and Rocking Horse Community Health Center to start a social media campaign. We have begun the campaign getting information out on social media, and we would need everyone's help to reach more people. If you come across a post about the dangers of co-sleeping or the proper way and place for infants to sleep, I ask that you share it. If we can reach just one parent, it'll definitely be worth it. We have received the preliminary study back from Strand and Associates on the sewer line expansion on the east side of town. After receiving the study, we had a meeting with representatives from the county and with Strand. We are currently weighing the options on how we will proceed and if there will be a regional partnership with the county and possibly West Jefferson. All 3 entities are working on a solution to help the sewer capacity throughout the county. Our sewer plant has extra capacity and is working with other entities to find out the best options, not only to grow London with more residential opportunities, but could help the other 2 entities as they grow. Appreciated the partnership and continued partnership with the county and West Jefferson. Looking at ways we can help each other while growing our community is very essential. I am currently working with Congressman Steve Stiver's office on pursuing some federal appropriations that may be able to be used on infrastructure projects like this. When we come up with a more formal plan and have more information, I'll definitely bring it back to you guys. Last Thursday, myself, Chief Nickel, Utilities Director Carol Benedict, and Mr. Comer had the pleasure of visiting London Middle School to judge the London City Schools Ohio STEM Learning Network Design Challenge. Each year, the Ohio STEM Learning Network hosts a design challenge where students collaborate to create workable solutions for our state's critical issues. In partnership with Ohio Energy Project, Ohio Oil and Gas Energy Education Program, Young Entrepreneur Institute, and Ohio After School Network, this year's challenge focused on Energy STEM Powers Ohio. The London Middle School sponsored a local design challenge showcase for the K-12 students on April 12th. The design challenge has provided a forum for our local students with outstanding design challenge projects to display their hard work and talent and to compete with other projects in the same category with the hope of moving on to the state level. This was a great afternoon with some fantastic projects. All the young adults did a wonderful job on their projects and also presenting. There are a few ceremonies coming up for some local partners I just want to let you guys know about. Mr. Paul Gross will have his groundbreaking ceremony tomorrow at noon for his housing and restaurant project at the Bluebird property. Specialty Outdoors will have its grand opening for the public on Saturday, April 24th. They will be doing a lunch for all the local businesses on Friday, April 23rd from 11 to 1 with a ribbon cutting at noon on Friday the 23rd. The Friends of Madison County Parks and Trails will be having their opening day ceremonies in conjunction with a groundbreaking for their mural project that they're working on Saturday, April 24th at 9 a.m. This will be at the Matco facilities. And I just want to kind of reiterate what Mr. Robinson spoke about with the Parks and Rec Department. It's definitely an exciting time for the Parks and Rec Department with starting new things, like the wiffle ball for the youth is a great thing, so we can keep these kids moving and hopefully out of trouble throughout the day while they're out running around, and get them down there and having some fun and playing some wiffle ball. Adult softball league starting back up so we can have something for the adults to do. With the opening of the pool, we're working on that plan right now. We're just shooting some emails back and forth with the health department. But we do plan to open all the pools this year. If you remember last year, we did keep the small pool and the racing pool closed due to all the COVID protocols. But we do plan on having all the pools open this year if we are able and allowed. We got the Ninja style playground equipment that'll be going into Cowling Park real soon. So we got that coming around for also kind of some of the older youth, right? So hopefully the thought is that the younger and smaller kids with their family will play on Noah's Playground, the all-inclusive park we have at Cowling, and some of the older kids will go over and play on the Ninja style course because it is a course for older children. And then, as we spoke about the improvements at Merrymac, there's a lot going on with that right now, and thank you to Brenda Russell and her group, Merrymac Miracles, for really spearheading this, not only for the city but also the community. And Tammy and I had a meeting today, and she has some great ideas of some of the playground equipment that we're looking to put out there, as well as redoing the basketball courts, lining them, putting some parking in, getting some seating out there, really starting out, like Brian said, on the top part of Merrymac, and then slowly working our way back. So, but yeah, it's great to see that we're continuing the things we're doing even through the pandemic, but also adding things every year to just hopefully keep the kids without them idle hands, right? And keep them moving and out there, and give them some fun things to do, like the Gaga Pit, like wiffle ball, things like that. So on to the MOLO Fun Fact, which is the number 79. That is a total number of days until our Independence Day celebration on July 3rd. Yes, only 79 days until July 3rd. Once again, want to thank council for that $15,000 for the appropriation for the fireworks. I have had a lot of citizens reach out to me and wanted me to pass on a thank you to you guys for doing that. Just that little thing really means a lot to the community, so they wanted me to pass that on. But with that being said, I am planning to still host the London Independence Day Parade. We'll see what the county health department lets me do. I have an idea if they say that, no, we can't have it, how we can still have it, but have it a different way. So we are looking to have the parade on Saturday, July 3rd. We usually do it on the 4th, but seeing as the 4th is a Sunday, Sunday is a day to be with family, and Sunday is a day to be with God. So we did not want to interfere with anyone's church service or anything like that. And with the 3rd falling on a Saturday, we felt that that would be the best time to do it. So we will have the parade that morning at 11 a.m. We'll start lining up at about 10. Already talked to the LHS band. They're in. First one's in, so we'll have the band there. And then once I get all the details finalized, I'll release the full plan. But July 3rd will be a great day, and we'll start off with the parade, and then we'll move on and have the fantastic fireworks display that evening at dusk. So that is all I have. Does anyone have anything for me? Yes, sir.
Mayor, I had somebody ask me about the Jazz and Rib Fest.
Okay, so here's what's going on with the Ribbon Jazz Fest. We are renaming it the Rhythm and Rib Fest, and we are having the Rhythm and Rib Fest. So it's the same festival. What happened was it's becoming more and more difficult to find 8 to 12 jazz bands to play. And so people show up and they go, hey, this isn't jazz, right? So we were bringing in a lot of blues bands because they're easier to find. And so we decided, with not having it last year, this is the best year to rebrand. And also the fact that our storage unit was one of the units that was damaged during the fire on South Oak Street. Some of our stuff got damaged. So this year, Rhythm and Rib Fest, I believe August 6th and 7th, Friday and Saturday. And we just had a meeting this past week to make sure that we still wanted to do it. The governor is opening it up for fairs and festivals and things like that. I've read through all the guidelines. I've talked to Madison County Public Health. It's going to look very similar, but there will be some changes because we need to try to spread out the vendors a little bit more so we don't have people bunching up, because if you've been down there, those rib burners get real busy, and it's real tough to social distance with people all wanting to get their ribs. So new name, same awesome festival, car show, dunk tank, great music. We'll still have jazz there. We'll still have some blues there, but open it up a little bit, maybe get a rock and roll band or two in there, and just open it up a little bit. So August 6th and 7th, I believe that's the first Friday and Saturday in August, and that's what we are planning to do, so.
Amen.
All right. Well, that's good. I'll pass that along to part of several groups, and they were wondering about that. So, and also they were interested in info on the Strawberry Festival.
Strawberry Festival has turned in their application.
Okay.
So they plan on having it. We haven't had much discussion with them on how it'll look or what they're doing currently, but they have. Amy, did they drop it off or did they
No, we discussed their.
discuss their application? I'm
They turned
sorry.
in one last year that didn't happen, so we kind of went through it, and they're turning in a new one.
Okay. All right.
So it sounds like they're gonna have that too. So, and we know the fair is a go, so we got that going on too. So
good.
hopefully these numbers will check up real fast for these COVID. Seems like everybody's kind of rising a little bit. Franklin County's having a mess of a time over there. Michigan is having a heck of a time up there. But hopefully with people getting vaccinated and everything, that we'll see these numbers get in check a little bit, and we can have hopefully some sort of normal summer this year, so.
Amen.
Okay.
All right, anything else, guys?
Mayor, I'd like to thank you for your effort in safe sleeping for infants to help
Yeah,
raise awareness for that.
yeah, I don't know if it's because I have a 5-year-old, and I don't know, when sometimes I get calls or text messages before things are released, right? And to get those text messages is just heartbreaking. And my wife looks at me and says, you know, what's going on? Are you all right? And I don't want to burden her with it. And I just kind of take it all in, and it just bothered me. And it kept bothering me, and then it happened again, right? It happened again, and I was like, and I get it, right? Everyone that has a kid, you get it that it's 2 in the morning and you don't have any sleep and you got to go to work in the morning and the baby's crying and you know if you bring that baby into bed with you, they're going to cuddle you and you are both going to fall asleep. And it's easy to do, right? But it's one of the most unsafe things to do, and I just couldn't imagine what those families are going through over one mistake that they made. And so I'm just trying to get the word out as much as possible. And HCFC is having, every year they have they call it a baby shower, where they let people come and get things like cribs and things like that and information. And they're going to do a real hard push at their drive-through baby shower this year. They have to do it drive-through style for COVID, but they're doing a big push on getting that information out. Madison County Public Health brought me a bunch of information on it. I'm talking to them about maybe doing some kind of video with them to try to get some information out more. And like I said, Rocking Horse has been putting some Facebook posts out that I've been sharing. And I want it that no one sleeps with their child, right? But it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So if we could just reach one family and save one infant, it would be worth, you know, the 2 seconds it takes to share a Facebook post, right? It's not much that I'm asking of the community and council and everyone. So, and if anyone else has any ideas how we can get these words out, it would be fantastic and greatly appreciated. Just shoot me an email and we could work together. So thank you, Carla.
Okay, on
Thanks,
to,
guys.
thank you. On to old business, ready for the third reading. Resolution 13521, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 13521, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution adopting the recommendations of the Tax Incentive Review Board.
Yeah, this is the third reading for the CRAs and TIF agreements that the Tax Incentive Review Council recommended. We've discussed these in past meetings, and this is the third reading. We can vote on it tonight. Any questions?
All right, no questions? What are your, like to make a motion?
To adopt.
Okay. Kim,
Second.
Second, all right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Blazer?
Yes.
Smith? Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
All right, motion carries. All right, on to our new business. Just a moment here. Resolution 13921, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
second, all right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 13921, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, this is the $1,046 that is left over out of the CARES Act money. We need to appropriate this so that we can use it. I think they're going to use it maybe for some park benches or something. This $1,000 is what's left over. They haven't really decided, but the small amount, probably park benches or something in one of the parks or something like that.
Okay,
But we need to reappropriate this so that we can, so we don't lose it.
okay. All right, we'll leave that on.
Yeah, so we went through and, we used every CARES Act dollar that they gave us, right? We even went to the county and said, give us more, there's some more stuff we want to do. But as you do this, you guys understand that we'll put a purchase order in, but the dollar amount won't be the same. We'll be a little bit short. So this is closing all those out to bring that money back out, closing all the purchase orders out so we can then reappropriate it and find something to do with that $1,000 if it's PPE or whatever, right?
Okay.
So,
All right. And we'll leave this one on. You have any further discussion on 13921?
Will we know what we're gonna buy with it before we vote on it? Or where we're gonna put it?
yeah, we can try to get you that information by the next meeting. It's just that we need to close them out anyway
yeah.
because we have to keep very, very close eye on all this money. Amy's done a wonderful job keeping it all in a binder and all the POs and all the receipts and everything because there's a chance that they're gonna come back and audit and make sure that you weren't spending it on things you weren't allowed to spend it on because the CARES Act was very specific on what you could spend it on. And it's not as broad as the ARP that's coming out.
Okay, well, all right. Any further discussion? All right, on to Resolution 14021, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 14021, sponsored by Josh Peters, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Josh is not here, I'll take this one. The Park and Recs Department purchased a field groomer. Now, this is for the turning of the baseball fields, softball fields, t-ball fields, and in the past, she's been putting a flat something on the back of a tractor, which took her 3 hours. She cut her time down at least to a third of the time, and this appropriation is for $5,546.52. And we'll need to, this is the,
I believe, wasn't this money already appropriated but not
That's-
used
it-
last year, so it's there, it's not extra money?
no,
Is that my understanding? No?
no, this is, I think did she already pay for it?
Yeah, so.
She already paid
So
for
this
it,
was
and is
discussed.
putting it back into her,
Yeah, it was discussed at Finance, it was discussed at Parks and Rec, and I believe it was discussed at
Public Service,
Public
yeah.
Service. And Josh was very adamant that we needed this machinery. So when we talked about it, and Josh said, yeah, we need to get it, we need, and so we went back and talked to Public Service and said, hey, we don't want to order this thing and then wait, get the money, order this thing, and then not have it for this season, right? We really need it. And so the discussion was, go ahead and buy it out of your operating
Operating
fund,
fund.
and then council
Oh,
would
okay.
just.
I knew there was something.
Yeah, council would just put it back so she can
Backward,
have it back in her operating
Yeah, okay.
fund for the pool and all that fun stuff, so. But it, like Brenda said, it's a fantastic piece of machinery that if we really want those fields looking nice, we need something like this, so.
That's good. Okay, any further discussion on 14021? All right, on to Resolution 14121, motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all right. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 14121, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
okay, this is appropriations put in by the street department, and it's money that they did not spend. We're just reappropriating it into another maintenance of equipment fund. And it'll be used to make repairs on the other buildings that they have out there, the other street buildings. Now, this is not new money. This is not new money. This is old money that Bill had. He didn't spend. We're just reappropriating it to to be used in a different area. And the area he's gonna use it is to do some work on those other buildings that he has, city buildings he has out there on, 42? And if you go take a look at the big main building, you see the changes they've made to it. It's a very, very attractive building. And there are some other buildings out there that need some work on it, and this is what this money will be used for. and we'll need to leave that on.
Okay. Any further discussion, 14121? All right, on to Resolution 14221. Motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, second. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 14221, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
This is money that's for the street department, and it's under the same circumstances. This is not new money Bill's getting. This is old money. He's just putting it into a different funding for materials, and he's going to buy additional salt with this money. He's going to buy some additional salt.
All right, and that's $15,981.42.
And we'll
Towards
just need
more
to leave
salt.
that on.
Okay. All right, any further discussion, 14221? All right, on to roundtable. I'll start with Mrs. Blazer.
I'm always, telling everybody to be safe, and we've been discussing the safe sleep for our infants. We just gotta remember too, that they have to sleep alone in an improved crib. They have to sleep on their back, and that the only thing that should be in the crib should be the baby, the sheet, and the baby's clothes that they're wearing to keep them warm. No blankets, no pillows, no side protection, no stuffed animals, nothing. Just the baby in the crib. That's it.
Yeah, that's important to remember. This, we call that the ABC,
Yeah.
alone, on their back, and in the crib.
Yeah. And just the part on the back, when they came out with that, to start telling parents to put their kids on their back instead of on the front like we were all taught
Yeah.
for years and years, it cut the rate of sudden infant death syndrome by 50%.
Wow,
It's that important.
that's important. All right, on to Mr. Hitt.
Yes, glad to hear that some of the activities that will be happening this summer. So feels good to think that things will be returning to some type of normalcy, hopefully. So I appreciate the mayor making efforts to have those things proceed.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hayes?
Yes, all city departments, thank you for jobs well done. We appreciate you more than you know. I had a brother, 6 months old, that passed away, SID, and I can't imagine what these folks are going through. I know what my mom and dad, I wasn't here then, but I know what they went through. They told me about it, and I can just imagine. But hopefully, things will get turned around, and things will be good. I too, like Mr. Hitt, glad we're getting back to some normalcy. Glad to hear we're going to have the Rhythm Rib Fest, August 6th and 7th. Those are the dates, Friday and Saturday. 4th of July parade, amen. I'd like to talk to I'd like to have council, I'd like to talk to council. I'd like to send a letter to the owners of the parking lot that encompasses Kroger, Dollar Tree, Shoe Sensation, the new store and the name's Burke's. That parking lot is atrocious. And I have people coming to me all the time. I won't shop there because of the parking lot. If we're going to build this city up and we're going to get businesses in here, by God, we got to take care of the parking lots, and the owners of the parking lots have got to take care of them. So I would like to have council sign off on a letter that we send in, letterhead from the city, asking them to please do something about their parking lot that's killing business. We're losing good money there, and we need to do something about it ASAP. Along those same lines, I had a couple of people stop me today concerned about a lot of trash that is accumulated behind Tractor Supply Warehouse, the health department, that little strip mall there. they walk. There's a big field behind there that's a lot of trees and things. I haven't been back there yet. They said the trash is just unbelievable and needs to be cleaned up. So I know that goes back on them, not us, but maybe a little message to them to see if they can take care of the back of their property would be sufficient. Hopefully, we could say something to them. It makes the city look better. Nothing worse than pulling in someplace. It's like Columbus. Every time I drive to Columbus, you pull in on one of the freeways, you go up the exit ramp, you get on the freeway, nothing but trash. And I mean, it just does not look good. Makes you kind of wonder. So anyway, I said all that to say thank you. I appreciate you listening to me. God bless, and that's all I got.
All right, thank you. Mr. Robinson.
I have nothing.
All right, Mrs. Russell.
I just want to announce that we will have a National Day of Prayer on May 6th at the courthouse at 12 noon. Everyone is invited there, and re-announce that our public service meeting is being moved to May the 5th at 1 p.m. here in council chambers. Finance meeting will be the 10th here in council chambers the conference room at 6 o'clock. Those meetings will be held in the conference rooms at 6 o'clock and 1 o'clock. And I just want to thank the mayor for his concern and representing, I think he speaks for all of us when these kind of situations are put on his shoulders. He bears a heavy load that we as council and we as residents don't have to bear. And I think he does a fantastic job. And I just want to thank him and just remind him that he has my prayers.
Mine too.
All right. And I just wanted to comment about Merrimack Park. It's good to hear that we got some movement out there for Merrimack Park, and it's called the Merrymac Miracles. Is that just the local communities group put together to help out there? That sounds good. It's always good when the community's on board, similar to Cowling Park. And then also, too, I just wanted to comment on the STEM competition that the school had. That was really amazing. Some of those kids are really bright. We might want to watch out for some of those kids. And they were excellent with their presentations and how they worked together. And some of them came up with projects where it would run the whole city through some type of alternative clean energy. So it was really amazing to see how the kids were able to work together and to actually present in a fashion where you actually understand what they're talking about. They are very smart. It's good to see those things happening in our schools because the kids, they are the future. So it's really good to see that. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right. Thank you. Some of those kids had some really neat stuff. It was, yeah. They had one that actually, it would charge yourself. It's a backpack and it's connected to you some way. So when you move, it creates energy to charge the backpack to at least charge your cell phone or something like that. So it wouldn't create a lot of energy, but you create the energy from